Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Richard Paul, and tonight we're going to continue our study on paper 13. Almost said 113. Let me share my screen so everyone can see it here. We're on section 110 is where we left last time. And last time, I had Ed read this paragraph. And Ed, if you would not mind, I believe I would like to get you to read that again.
No problem.
We're kind of where we were, because I wanted to talk about these charts on reflectivity a little bit too. Okay, so if you'll read that first paragraph, we'll go from there.
Excellent. Will do. The secrets of Spirington involve the impenetrable mysteries of reflectivity. We tell you of the vast and universal phenomena of reflectivity, more particularly as it is operative on the headquarters worlds of the 7 superuniverses. But we never fully explain this phenomenon, for we do not fully understand it. Much, very much, we do comprehend, but many basic details are still mysterious to us. Reflectivity is the secret of God, the Spirit. We have been instructed concerning reflectivity functions in relation to the ascension scheme of mortal survival, and it does so operate. But reflectivity is also an indispensable feature of the normal working of numerous other phases of universe occupation. The endowment of the infinite spirit is also utilized in channels other than those of intelligence gathering and information dissemination. And there are other secrets of Spirington.
Okay, so we know about reflectivity and how it relates to us in what we were talking about last week when our guardian angels go to justify our life, right? So that we go on to the dimension world. So, and that's done through reflectivity. But that's only one of the very small parts of reflectivity. Reflectivity is used in many, many ways to help run the 7 super universes. Yeah. And a good example of this is how the 7 master spirits and the 7 supreme executives use reflectivity in the 49 reflective spirits. All right. So there's 7 for each of the 7 super universes. Okay. Also, what it mentions down here is Majeston. Okay. And it says at the very top of this, let me read it. When the 49th reflective spirit had personalized, then a new and far-reaching reaction occurred in the deity absolute, which imparted new personality prerogatives to the supreme being, which is interesting, and culminated in the personalization of Majeston, the reflectivity chief and paradise center of all the work of the 49 reflective spirits and their associates throughout the universe of universes. So when the 49th, in other words, when the very last one of these 49 reflective spirits in the 7 super universe manifested itself, then there was a reaction in the supreme being in Havona, which created Majeston, and he became the head of all of this reflective service. Okay. And the point I want to make about this is not just for us being judged. There's many, many other things that this reflectivity is used for the administration of every single aspect of all the 7 super universes. Okay? Now, if you want to postulate about something, if this works so well in the 7 super universes, what's the next step for the outer space levels? Have you thought about that? There must be something planned either in the supreme being, or maybe it's going to be the ultimate in the next. that adds to this reflectivity. But it's interesting that the fact that everything in all the seven super universes in Havana and all the way to paradise, everything is known immediately all the time, right? Not only to God the Father through the thought adjusters, right? Or not only God the Father through the personality circuit, or not only the infinite spirit through its circuit, right? The mind circuit, or the spirit circuit of the sun. But everything is known through this physical reflectivity circuit about everything that goes on in all the universe. So you think anybody can get away with anything? I doubt it.
So, Roger,
Yes.
Reflectivity is basically like Zoom.
It's like Zoom.
Communication.
You got it. Instant communication, right?
Right.
Now, when they need to physically send somebody out, they have what? Mighty messengers. They have the whole angelic corps, seraphim. They have lots of ways to go out to all the super universes, but they don't have to do this for most things because of this reflectivity circuit, right? So they know what's going on all the time.
I ponder when it said at the last part that Ed read, in channels other than those of intelligence gathering and information dissemination, spreading it out.
Right.
I think it's also, that it's part of the impersonal aspects of running the universe.
It is.
Power centers, power directors, all of that type of communication. And like Rodney said, Zoom, when I first read this, I grossly compared it to looking in a mirror. Yeah. I mean, there is distance between light travels, but I mean, instantaneously, I see myself, and I just envision that being throughout all the universe.
Well, think about it. Mike, think about it this way. Remember all the fairy tales when they look in the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, right?
Right.
I mean, in essence, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about looking into a mirror, sort of, and the reflection of whoever it is you need to see is there immediately.
I think that's what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. When that is exactly what he didn't know it, but he was referring to something simultaneously happening all the way across the universe in another proton.
That's right. Millie's with us now too, y'all. Let y'all know. I don't see her picture yet, but it's out there. So.
Hey, I'll show it.
All right, let's go on to Vice Jerrington. Let's see who. Mike, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, sure. Vice Jerrington. This planet is the bosom of the Father and the Son, and is the secret sphere of certain unrevealed beings who take origin by the acts of the Father and the Son. This is also the paradise home of many glorified beings of complex ancestry, those whose origin is complicated because of the many diverse techniques operative in the seven super universes. Many groups of beings foregather on this world whose identity has not been revealed to Urantia mortals. So that's
okay. Remember, each one of these spheres is a different combination of what? The Trinity, right?
Yeah.
So this particular one is the combination of the Father and the Son, and they call it the bosom of the Father and the Son, right? So you're as in a direct communication with the Father and the Son as possible. Now, it's interesting that they call it Vice Jerrington. What do you think that is? Because they are the agent of the deity of the Father and the Son together. Okay? Right. So that's why it's called Vice Jerrington. They're the vicegerents of the Father and the Son. Okay? And it's going to go a little bit more into this in a minute. Now, what are some of the beings that's on Vice Jerrington? That would be beings like what? The architects of the master universe, right? Because they are the vicegerents of the Father and the Son, right? And they do that through what? The unqualified absolute, right? All right. And then there's others. They're going to talk about this a little bit more here. Let's go on down to the next paragraph. Jane, would you take the next paragraph, please?
Okay. The secrets of Vice Jerrington includes the secrets of Trinitization, and Trinitization constitutes the secret of authority to represent the Trinity, to act as vicegerents of the gods. Authority to represent the Trinity attaches only to those beings, revealed and unrevealed, who are trinitized, created, eventuated, or eternalized by any two or all three of the Paradise Trinity. Personalities brought into being by the trinitizing acts of certain types of glorified creatures represent no more than the conceptual potential mobilized in that trinitization, albeit such creatures may ascend the path of deity, embrace open to all of their kind.
Now, the being that's teaching us is a trinitized, Trinity created being. Okay. So he has the authority. This is what I want to bring out. He has the authority to represent the Trinity. You see that? So
Yeah.
the being that's teaching us this actually has the authority direct from God the Father and God the Son to teach us these things. Okay.
Right.
And that's why this is his planet. Okay. Because he's a trinitized being. Now, when we become finaliters, we will have the opportunity to experiment with trinitization. And if we're successful, then at that point, we will have the secrets of Vice Jerrington open to us too. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Something came to my mind because I kept saying trinitization, and you're thinking of all three, but that doesn't necessarily mean three.
It does.
Here, it could be two, any two.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it can just
different because I just think the Trinity, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's any two of them that's trinitized
Well, if you think about it this way, though, Mike, you're not wrong either, because it can be three. It has to be three in fruition. All right, and what I mean by that is God the Father and God the Son trinitize the beings that we're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so that's the third being.
Yeah, right.
The trinitization creates the third being. Now it's the same thing with us. When we get finaliters, if we try to trinitize a concept with another being, like a Havana native or a paradise citizen, right? If we try to trinitize a new concept, that third person or being that comes into existence, the third part. Okay? So that's why it's always three. Always three. But the third one is always the being created or eventuated, whichever it is, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Roger, can I ask a question here?
Yes, please do.
Can I relate what you're saying then to when we fuse, which you just said that, although
right.
Maybe I'm way off here. But if we fuse with the thought adjuster,
yes,
and we are a new creation, is that the new being, the third?
The third being, the new being would be us and God the Father created into a new being or a new soul, and that is the third part, right? So in essence, it's like a trinitization. It's not called a trinitization, but it's much like the trinitization because we're fusing with a father fragment and we're a personality, which is a human. In doing that, that soul completely created at that point. All right. It's being brought into being even in this life. But all three of those come together to make that new person. Right.
So there is the continuity of pattern there.
Yes, it is. It's continuous. It is. It's a pattern, right? So we become we've copied the pattern of the deities in essence, right?
Thank
But
you.
that's a very, very good observation at this point in your training, Jane.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad,
Yes, it
glad you
is.
brought that up.
I never thought of that.
I hadn't either.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Diane, I skipped over you from the beginning. You want to take the next one, and then I'll come back to Rodney?
You want me to do the next one?
Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah.
Let me know if you have any.
You sound good.
Okay. Non-trinitized beings do not fully understand the technique of trinitization by either 2 or 3 creators or by certain creatures. You will never fully understand such a phenomenon unless, in the far distant future of your glorified career, you should essay and succeed in such an adventure, because otherwise these secrets of Vice-Gerrington will always be forbidden you. But to me, a high Trinity origin being, all sectors of Vice-Gerrington are open. I fully understand and just as fully and sacredly protect the secret of my origin and destiny.
Okay, that's what we were just talking about, right?
Right.
But because he has been there, he's created by these beings. All these secrets are open to him, right, on Vice-Gerrington. So when we become phenomenators, we get to go to Vice-Gerrington and meet some of the secrets of supremacy. There's certain areas that will be blocked off to us because we are not Trinity origin beings, right?
Right.
And that's that way on each of the worlds. There might be one phase that we can go visit, and the rest of them we can't, right?
And that's okay.
Okay, because we're not origins of those types of beings.
You know, I thought is, okay, let's take another super universe. Let's say number 4.
Right.
Father, Son. You know,
right.
We have an idea of the Trinity. We have an idea of the Paradise Trinity. You know,
yeah.
With those beings in that evolutionary universe, super universe, would they have maybe an understanding of a father-son being? It's just any combination of those, because we had a pretty good idea about the Paradise Trinity, which may not be available to other super universes. Now that's just conjecture. I don't know, but
I think you're right, Mike, because of the universe we come from, we get more of an idea of all three.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And because they come from a different one that may be just father and son, they would have a different concept of it, And that is probably the direct reason, Mike, that we as finalitors are required to serve in all 7 of the 7 super universe.
Good point.
All right. Yeah. So that we start to begin to understand and experience those different concepts. Right. Because if you came from England, your idea of the world is going to be different than someone who comes from the United States, different from someone who comes from France and someone who comes from Africa, because of your location, you get tinged with certain concepts, right? And it's the same principle.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rodney, would you take the next
one? All right. There are still other forms and phases of trinitization which have not been brought to the notice of the Urantia peoples, us. And these experiences and their personal aspects are duly protected in the secret sector of Vice-Gerrington.
Okay, so we don't have anything to relate to that, so they'll probably teach us that in the when we have to read the local universe book, right, instead of the Urantia book.
Yeah.
How big that would be.
Yeah, really. All right, Bill, would you take the next one for us?
Sure. Solitarington. This world is the bosom of the Father and the Spirit, and is the rendezvous of a magnificent host of unrevealed beings of origin in the conjoint acts of the universal Father and the infinite Spirit, beings who partake of the traits of the Father in addition to the Spirit inheritance.
Okay, so this is the combination of the Father and the Spirit, And this is Solitarian. And it's interesting that it's named this because guess who comes from here?
Solitary
The
messenger.
solitary
Solitary
messenger.
messengers. That's right. This is also the sphere of the universe power directors, right? Now, why would you think that would be? Because it had the spirit involved, and we know the power directors are directly under the what? The
The
mass
spirit.
spirit, right?
Right.
And that is under the spirit, right? Makes perfect sense, right? So this sphere would be open to them. Now, the solitary messengers are a super angelic order, right?
Right.
That's why this is named after them. So let's take the next paragraph. Millie, are you out there?
I'm here. I don't know why my picture isn't up there.
Okay, well, go ahead and read this for.
Okay, let me ask you something. It says home of the solitary messengers.
Yeah.
And at the bottom it says stratosphere of the universe power directors. What's the
Right.
difference? What's the difference between stratosphere of and home of?
Okay, because the stratosphere of the power directors would mean that this is where the power directors would dwell because they're assigned to dwell there. The solitary messengers would probably earn the right to be in the home there, but the universe power directors automatically would be there because of their connection with the infinite spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You compare that to say like Urantia power supervisors, those various smaller groups that they're located in the worlds that they would have jurisdiction over.
That's right. Now the thing we forget about all that too, Mike, is I'm glad you brought that up because we don't realize the host of celestial beings that are on this planet right now. Okay. There's probably billions of celestial beings that have homes on this planet outside our sight range. Okay. And they could be living right on top of us and we don't know it, right? Because they're on a different dimension, right? And they're on a different dimension. We don't know they're there. We don't hear them. We don't communicate with them. But doesn't it make you wonder? Here, Roger's speculating again. Doesn't it make you wonder if some of these ghost encounters might be some of these beings in other dimensions that are bleeding over from their dimension into our dimension?
That's true.
Possible, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. That's a whole nother ball game if you
Yeah.
think about it. You know, really is. All right, Millie, would you go ahead and take that one for us, please?
This is also the home of the solitary messengers and the other personalities of the super angelic orders. You know of very few of these beings. There are vast numbers of orders unrevealed on Urantia. Because they are domiciled on the fifth world, it does not necessarily follow that the Father has aught to do with the creation of solitary messengers or their super angelic associates. But in the universe age, he does have to do with their function. During the present universe age, this is also the stratosphere of the universe power directors.
So they're stationed there, right? The stratosphere. So this is their status. They are stationed on this planet. Okay. So everything, when they have to send information out, they administer the 7 super universes. They do it from this planet. Okay. That's part of what the stratosphere is about. All right. The thing, the solitary messengers I want to mention, these guys move at a speed that's almost inconceivable, right? So if they want to get a message out from paradise, they'd send one of these guys, pretty pretty quickly. And why do you think that is? That's because they're on an order of existence that's even higher than your normal spiritual being. So they can negotiate space at such a high rate of speed. They don't have to worry about disintegrating their own body, right? Let's click on the solitary messenger. I think it has in this how fast they transmit. Look at this. They can transmit messages 100 light years away.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find it, if this feeds on here.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Here it is.
Nearly defy time and space. Attain velocities of 840 billion miles per second over the mind circuits of the infinite spirit.
Wow.
That's cooking.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
They're the hot rods of the bunch.
Yeah,
They're the hot rods of the super universes, right?
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. I love having this link so we can look things up like that.
Oh, this
Okay.
is wonderful. I love this.
Amazing.
All right. Mike, would you take the next one?
Sure. There are numbers. Is that it?
Yes.
There are numerous additional orders of spirit personalities, beings unknown to mortal man, who look upon Solitarington as their paradise home sphere. It should be remembered that all divisions and levels of universe activities are just as fully provided with spirit ministers as is the realm concerning with helping mortal man ascend to his divine paradise destiny.
So these are the members that are doing all the other things in the universe is not to do with our ascension plan, right? Millions and millions and billions of them probably.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Jane, would you take the next one, please?
Okay. The secrets of Solitarington. Besides certain secrets of trinitization, this world holds the secrets of the personal relation of the infinite spirit with certain of the higher offsprings of the third source and center. On Solitarington are held the mysteries of the intimate association of numerous unrevealed orders with the spirits of the Father, of the Son, and of the Spirit, with the threefold Spirit of the Trinity, and with the spirits of the Supreme, the Ultimate, and the Supreme Ultimate.
So this is kind of the catch-all for all the spiritual activity of all these other beings, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of other beings that's associated with solitary.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the solitary messengers really feel proud that the planet is named after them, right? All right. Let's go on to Seraphing. Ed, would you take Seraphington for us, please?
Certainly. Seraphington. This sphere is the bosom of the Son and the Spirit, and is the home world of the vast hosts of unrevealed beings created by the Son and the Spirit. This is also the destiny sphere of all ministering orders of the angelic hosts, including
Supernathan.
A Supremaphen, Saconaphen,
and
Seraphim. Got that one.
Yeah.
They're also served in the central and outlying universes many orders of superb spirits who are not ministering spirits to those who shall be heirs of salvation. All these spirit workers in all levels and realms of universe activity look on Seraphington as their paradise home.
Okay, so all of our guardian angels and all the angels orders all the way down to the Havona, all the way down to the local universe, right? All these orders of angels that are support people and help us get up through the ascension plan end up on Seraphington. Now, keep in mind too that many seraphic angels earn the right as they go with you all the way to paradise. They are earning their right to do the same thing, right? So if they become finalitors, they will have access to this world also. right? Because they came up that way, right? Where we will not have the same access as they will to Seraphim because we're not angels, right? So
I didn't know that. So they can make it Seraphim and Ascending.
Yeah, and Ascending, right? Our home will be Ascending, but they could call this or Ascending or both their, right? Now, I don't want to burst your bubble, but in A Wonderful Life, the angel didn't earn his wings and did not become human down to the earth. All right. Angels do not, humans don't become angels, and the angels don't become human. All right.
You're here.
Let's just clear that up.
Darn, all those good movies.
And that burst everybody's bubble. I hate to do that, but that's just the way it is. Okay. I do want to mention one thing in this paragraph, though. It says here that there are many orders of superb spirits who are not ministering spirits, who to those who shall be heirs of salvation. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of orders of beings out there that are not in the angelic corps of ministering spirits that will be heirs of salvation. What does that mean? In other words, they will qualify for Seraphim, even though they're not ministering spirits. Okay? But these are one of these unrevealed orders to us. Okay? But I did bring that up. You know, it's interesting the way he phrases this here too. I don't want to get off base, but I love this term, heirs of salvation. Let me tell you why. Remember when Jesus was on the earth and he was in the papers on Jesus in the Urantia book, when he would say, let's go save some souls. Remember that? He was serious. He was talking about the heirs of salvation. He was trying to bring humans that would not make it through the judgment. He's trying to pull those into salvation. And that's what he's talking about, save souls, right? Even Jesus was trying to do this, right? But it goes on to tell us there are a lot of spirit workers on all levels and all realms of activity that will look at Seraphim as their paradise home. Okay? So there's not just angels there. All right. I skipped over Diane again. Diane, would you take this? The secrets.
Okay.
The
secrets of Seraphim involve a threefold mystery, only one of which I may mention, the mystery of seraphic transport. The ability of various orders of seraphim and allied spirit beings to envelop within their spirit forms all orders of non-material personalities and to carry them away on lengthy interplanetary journeys is a secret locked up in the sacred sectors of Seraphim. The transport seraphim comprehend this mystery, but they do not communicate it to the rest of us, or perhaps they cannot. The other mysteries of Seraphim pertain to the personal experiences of types of spirit servers as yet not revealed to mortals. And we refrain from discussing the secrets of such closely related beings because you can almost comprehend such near orders of existence. And it will be akin to betrayal of trust to present even our partial knowledge of such phenomena.
So I hate to tell you all this, that even after we get all the way up to the top, we still don't know how those angels envelop us. The secret of doing that, transporting us around. So that's just the way it is. That's a secret of Seraphim.
That's fascinating. This last sentence, we've seen in this book numerous times. Well, we don't understand it, or we don't have the language. But this is a flip. This is saying we can't tell you.
We can't
because he doesn't understand it. Even though you we can't. That's interesting. First time I've seen that in this book.
Yeah, can't teach us if he doesn't know how, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the secret either. So All right. And you're gonna find out that he's not gonna have the secret of this one either. All right. Let's keep going. Uh, did you already read, Ed? I think you did.
Yeah.
Right before. Huh?
He did.
You did? Okay. Rodney, would you take the next?
Yes. 7. Ascendington. This unique world is the bosom of the Father, Son, and Spirit, the rendezvous of the ascendant creatures of space, the receiving sphere of the pilgrims of time who are passing through the Havana universe on their way to paradise. Ascendington is the actual paradise home of the ascendant souls of time and space until they attain paradise status. You mortals will spend most of your Havana vacations on Ascendington. During your Havana life, Ascendington will be to you what the reversion directors were during the local and super universe ascension. Here, you will engage in thousands of activities which are beyond the grasp of mortal imagination. And as on every previous advance in the Godward ascent, your human self will here enter into new relationships with your divine self.
Your human self and your divine self.
Wow.
So that's your thought adjuster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your human self will have new relationships with your divine self, which is your thought adjuster, even though you fuse.
Wow.
So we still grow, don't we? All the way up there, right? But Ascendington is our goal. This is where we're heading, right? Will be our paradise home. All right. And it's interesting here that he talks about when we're in Havana and learning on the Havana world, we'll be taking vacations on Ascendington. Okay. So it must be some kind of special place, right? That will be our goal. That's where we'll want to go and spend our time. And they say that are what we would consider like the reversion directors in the local and super universe ascension career. Okay, so this is our entertainment, if you think about it, right? And remember, Ascendington is the combination of what? The Father, Son, and the Spirit. And that's the combination which we come from, right? And there's Ascendington. All right. All right, here we go. Let's continue on Ascendington. Bill, would you take the next one, please?
Sure. The secrets of Ascendington include the mystery of the gradual and certain building up in the material and mortal mind of a spiritual and potentially immortal counterpart of character and identity. This phenomenon constitutes one of the most perplexing mysteries of the universes, the evolution of an immortal soul within the mind of a mortal and material creature.
There we go. This is what we were talking about earlier, Jane. This is that third part, isn't it?
Yeah.
That immortal soul that we build up. We start in this life and build it up over time, and it becomes part of us with the fusion with adjuster and the personality, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The third part, and the secret of this is our secret, right?
Our secret.
You know, that's our special part. And no one else will understand that unless they experience it too, right? So this is all this stuff about experiential transactions and experience over time. This is what it's all about, right? All right. Let's go down to the next one. Millie, would you take the next one for us?
Yes. You will never fully understand this mysterious transaction until you reach Ascendington. And that is just why all Ascendington will be open to your wondering gaze. 1/7 of Ascendington is forbidden to me. That sector concerned with this very secret, which is or will be the exclusive experience and possession of your type of being. This experience belongs to your human order of existence. My order of personality is not directly concerned with such transactions. It is therefore forbidden for me and eventually revealed to you. But even after it is revealed to you, for some reason, it forever remains your secret. You do not reveal it to us, nor any other order of being. We know about the eternal fusion of a divine adjuster and an immortal soul of human origin, but these ascendant finalators know this is that this very experience is an absolute reality.
And it's only our absolute reality because we're human, right?
Right.
We're mortal.
Right.
Okay? It won't be anyone else. Okay. Anybody have any question on this section before we move on to the next section?
When it says, when it talks about absolute reality, that would, to me, indicate complete and perfect understanding of this secret. Absolute. Comment on that word. I know it. What is it?
It's absolute
of everything. There are no
questions left, right? No questions left about it at all. We will have a total understanding of this thing, of the fusion of our soul with the adjuster. We'll have a complete understanding of our fusion with the soul and the personality that we build up as a human being, right? And we will only have that complete understanding as an absolute reality because we experienced it ourselves. You know, what's interesting too about this is nothing is asked from us for this. Do y'all realize that? It's a free gift. It's the free gift from God the Father.
Right.
You know?
What could be fascinating here, and I could be way off base, because every human being is going to have such a very unique, in one way private, and in another way ever expanding, because we may influence so many people, but each mission, each journey, each pilgrim is very unique. No one has a life like another.
That's true.
How the journey takes them there in our lifetime.
Yeah. And each one of us, because of what you're saying, Jane, each experience is different. Experientially, there are no two beings throughout all the entire universes that are exactly alike, are they? So think of it this way. When God wants every being to survive, and if he loses just one, that person is never duplicated again. Never again. You know, that's why it's so important that all of us survive, right? It really is. You think about it, you know, that's what pulled me in, gosh, in 1972, 73. That's what pulled me into the ministry in the first place, you know, is this need to pull people with me into this wonderful concept of survival and this journey beyond belief in this lifetime and past this life, right? It's such a blessed experience you can't put words on. And to think people are walking around half dead and thinking that this is it, how sad. What is it, you know? I mean,
True.
it is so sad. And we want to take everybody with us, you know, and that's part of the brotherhood of man. You know, when you think about Jesus talking about the brotherhood of man, this is part of it. When you realize that each person is an individual and each person deserves this salvation, I don't care how stupid they are or how bad they are or anything else, because of their lack of knowledge, they don't understand what's coming. You know, it's a lack of understanding is what it is. And as I tell my wife all the time, you know, she knows I'm a very, very patient man. I'm so patient, it's unreal. But I become so impatient with stupidity, it's pathetic. And she'll tell you that.
Oh, that's good.
She says, you know, one time she said this when we were dating. She said, I was like a standing bear. When when I when I don't like something, I stand up and roar like a bear.
True.
That's
Still does.
Still does. Yes, I still do. But other than that, I'm a pretty patient person.
Only Diane could identify that.
That's true. That's true. I think somebody I was, you know, I've got some Indian background in me, and then one of the Indian guys I was talking to in Cherokee once said, "That must be your Indian name, Standing Bear, huh?"
Well, I'm from the Onondaga tribe. My grandfather was Onondaga, part of the Iroquois Nation, so
Right.
I'm very aware of that.
Okay, let's see if we can get one more paragraph for good night. 2, the father-world relationship. Mike, would you take the last one there?
Sure. Father-world relationships. These home worlds of the diverse orders of supreme beings are tremendous and stupendous spheres, and they are equal to paradise in their matchless beauty and superb glory. They are rendezvous worlds, reunion spheres, serving as permanent cosmic addresses. As finalators, you will be domiciled on paradise, but Ascendington will be your home address at all times, even when you enter service into outer space. Through all eternity, you will regard Ascendington as your home of sentimental memories and reminiscent recollections. When you become 7th stage spirit beings, possibly you will give up your residential status on paradise.
Wow.
All right, before we quit tonight, Mike, go ahead and read that paragraph too, because I want to end this on a concept here.
If outer universes are in the making, if they are to be inhabited by time creatures of ascension potential, then we infer that these children of the future will also be destined to look upon Ascendington as their paradise home world.
And that's where we're going to quit tonight.
Wow.
Just think about it. Ascendington will be our home address forever.
Mm-hmm.
It must be gigantic.
It must be beyond imagination.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's how enormous these spheres are. You know, when we talk about these little planets around this diagram I put up there, it doesn't really do it justice. Just gives us an idea. Right? All right. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask Millie to close us in prayer tonight. Millie always has good prayers. So would you like to close us in prayer, Millie?
You're muted, Millie.
Millie, you still out there?
She's muted.
I just got muted.
All right.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for letting us gather again tonight to study this wonderful revelation that you've given us. Help us to open our minds and to try and understand all these wonderful things that we're going to encounter as we leave our physical body and seek to join you. We thank you for having Roger here to help guide us through this work. We thank you for all these people that come together and study with us and ask questions, because I learn from their questions and hopefully they learn from my questions. We learn from each other. And I think that's what the book is supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be in groups learning from each other in this book, this wonderful book. You created it just for that, I'm sure, so that we can learn from each other. It's called the brotherhood of man, I think. We thank you for sending Christ Michael to help show us the way. We thank you for this beautiful day that we've had together. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining us at home. Please come see us again. Dear, you want to hit stop the